Hi, everyone. This is Finance Ministry Real Estate. We have Vinney Chopra here today. It's lovely to have him. As you guys know, we are a YouTube channel, Finance Ministry Real Estate on YouTube. We do live webinars every Tuesday. So let me introduce Vinney for you. So Vinney Chopra is a real estate investor, syndicator, international best-selling author. He's the host of 4 podcasts. He's an educator, mentor, dedicated husband of over 40 years, and he's a father of 2 children, Neo and Monica. He resides in Danville, California, near San Francisco for over 40 years. And he came to this country with only $7 in his pocket and a dream. And he has now built a portfolio of over 4,700 units, amounting to over $600 million in multifamily, senior assisted living, and hospitality. He's passionate about helping others achieve financial freedom and giving back to our seniors who have given us so much. It's a real pleasure to have Vinney here. He's an active member of the community, real estate community, as I said, in really so many ways. So with that, I'm going to pass it on to Vinney. And if you guys have any questions, feel free to speak up or perhaps put them on the chat and I'll relate at the end. And thank you, Vinney, again for being here.
Thank you, Stefan. It's such a pleasure to be with you and everybody. Sunny is there, then Jay Miller is there, of course, welcome, and Adonis is there, and Ekaterina is there. Nice to have everybody. And also I can see, Konstantin is there. Yeah, I am very pleased to talk about multifamily, actually, and the 3 tsunamis I talk about. Hi Jay, now I can see you. Yeah. But it's such a pleasure that about 15 years back or 16 years back, I caught the bug of multifamily. It was about then when I started learning about multifamily, but we have been really investing in single family homes. My wife and I started about 39 years back. We've been married 41 years. We moved to Bay Area, San Francisco from Ohio. And I came to this country with $7 and sold Bible books and encyclopedias and educational books to earn tuition for my college. I went to George Washington University. I'm an engineer too, by the way, Stefan. I'm mechanical engineer. Yeah, mechanical engineer.
But that's so nice, Vinney. That's great.
Thank you. I would love to answer your questions, but maybe before that, I will just give you a little bit synopsis. Multifamily is the best of the best class when you talk about cash flows, or to be able to do better than the inflation, to be able to do better in this country, especially USA. The tax laws are designed for real estate. I say that very, very, very candidly, because with the passive losses, even the passive investors, and active losses with the active investors, you can write off your W-2 incomes. You could do, if you're a sales professional, things like that. So tax laws are amazing. I don't really know like the depth of knowledge all of you have. I'm sure you have a lot of knowledge depth, but the big thing is leverage is one thing, because in stock market, you have to pay the whole price to buy Apple stock or to buy Google stock, right? If an Amazon, $3,300, you get 1 share, right? Or something. But in real estate, you could pay a little bit money, like if the stock or the property is worth, X amount, you pay 30% of that. Rest the bank gives us the money, the leverage. So leverage is huge right there. So the tax consequences come with the leverage, with getting the loan also so cheap right now. Loan is very, 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 very cheap. Free money, we call it. I got my Austin deal. I just purchased last year, not just purchased, 1 year back, 2.68% interest rate on $23 million loan. it just blew me away. I mean, the bank is giving Freddie Mac gave me that loan, right? But the thing is, money is very, very cheap. So I think all those factors kind of got me excited about 16 years back. And I'm smiling right now because I bought a duplex. We were buying single family homes. Then we bought a duplex and I still own that duplex. That's a multifamily. I have zero mortgage on it, but I get $2,800, I think, per month rent on that duplex, 14 and 1400. But then next one I bought was 14 units for $180,000. 14 units only for $180,000. And the exciting part is that, that I sold, double the money and all that. But then I bought a little bit bigger and a little bit bigger, 62 units, 72 units, 120, 150 like that, and kept on buying, now 4,700. But we will talk about, what is on your mind. I think that's what it'll be more productive. The mindset is one thing I really believe in. Mindset, setting goals. And then the book I also wrote, some of you might have, seen me on Amazon, the Apartment Syndication Made Easy book, which a lot of people really, really liked it. But then my wife said, this is a good thing to share with you. She read my book. She says, you know what, book is good, but you have been such a positive person. You need to write a book on positivity. She says, I've been married to you for 39 years and you should write that. Guess what? I got up next morning when she told me 2 years back, and I started writing my second book, which was The Positivity Brings Profitability. But guess what? After she read it, she says, no good. She said the first book was better than the second book. So actually, I just have been working hard to expand on my second book right now, and anyway, but that's on the positive note right there. But I would love to, Stefan, which direction should I go?
Yes, so Vinny, so you mentioned like you had like single families, then you had a duplex, and then you had a 14 unit and kind of climbed up from that. So, I mean, for some of our audience, if you would like to share like some of that experience, and
Yes.
so you mentioned kind of doubling the valuation on that 14 unit. How were you able to achieve it? Yeah.
Totally love to. See, like when we got these 14 units, they were single story, like a U. And that's where we started looking into how can we increase the rents. The main thing we always look at is if the tenants who are there in the building, can they pay a little bit more, right? And of course, inflation comes into play. But at the same token, if we could put a special value add in their unit, could it be like resurfacing of the, their bathroom tubs, or resurfacing of the kitchen counters? It may cost $100 or $150, but then now they feel they can increase and give more rent. That's one way to increase rent. That's what we did in that 14 units. The other thing was, if that unit, the tenant is paying, the utilities, water, trash, gas, all those things, or is the owner paying that? We found when we bought it, the owner was paying all those things. So then we started charging the residents the utilities and other things also. So that added income also, right? So by increasing the rents and adding the utilities to collect, that gave us more revenue. And then we manage ourselves, our apartments with the property manager and all. So that cut down the expenses. So that's why the NOI increased, the net operating income.
Yeah, that's great. And that's pretty much an introduction to how like commercial real estate
Yeah.
value add works, and like raising the value of the property when you raise the NOI,
Yeah.
kind of like in the same magnitude. Like, but have you seen, like, just kind of a semi-technical question, if you have like a 14 unit, have you seen, like, since a situation where, okay, there it's supposed to be like that, but actually it appraises, okay, they find, like, appraisers find comparables to that building, since it's like too few units, and there tends to be like too many of them. Because I've seen this in the New York City area, like, for example, if it's like a 6 unit or whatever, and
Yeah.
maybe the price per unit is even, could be high, like could be like, let's say about $1 million for a 6 unit, right? But then nevertheless, that kind of NOI dynamic does not necessarily work for the presence of a huge amount of comparables to those 6 units, because they have like too many of them, and they sort of like sell around the same price, just because appraisers they're going to say, okay, we're going to kind of revert to that. And I've seen like that, this dynamic in other places, for like small, like pretty much I think can go up to 20 units in some cases, for the sheer supply and kind of presence of what's of inventory, like, which just doesn't exist for 100 units, because you don't get like too many 100 units to compare to, and kind of then they just purely go by NOI. And is that something you experienced at that time when starting out, or it was working just as well as for bigger properties?
Very good situation you just shared. To be very truthful, we found that, like, in the major metropolis areas like San Francisco and New York are very, very high, expensive per unit average for like duplex or fourplex or 6 units. You're so right. It's much, much higher. So when I was getting into this business 14 years back, we said, oh my gosh, we can't make the numbers work right over here near San Francisco where I live. So we said, okay, where should we go? And that's when we started looking into smaller towns where we found the employment was good, but at the same token, the price per unit was also lower, right? That's when we came across Odessa, Texas. I'm talking about this Texas small town. Odessa and Midland are two twin cities there. And that's where we found that, let's go there. And that's what I found after I went there, to go to San Antonio, Texas, and then we started buying over there near Austin. We couldn't afford Austin back then because I couldn't raise more money, but we bought in Seguin, in San Marcos, in Austin. So answer your question, Stefan, maybe many times, because our investors, when you're asking them to pay money, equity, right, down payment and others, they want returns. So that's why we have to really be looking into underwriting the deal, maybe even a little bit away from, like, in Long Island. I've not looked into the market there, but I'm pretty sure if you go onto the New Jersey side, you could make some good cash flows in the multifamily that way, on that side. Edison, I think, is one name of the town there too, and other places, and Long Island sides, or going a little north of, New York City, or south of New York City, as long as it's not too far away, right? Otherwise, you could go down the pike into Virginia's, Maryland's, right? You could look into that there. But you're so true. You're so right. If the properties cannot give us the cash flow, then it will be tough to have a good cash on cash return, which is what we pay to the investors, to the investors. I'm in syndication world. I mean, I would have stayed in my duplex or fourplex or 14plex, but I took the road to raise money. I said, okay, if I can pull the money together, that's when I became a student of syndication, business. And now I have raised 143 million so far, which I invested into more and more and more deals, and then given my great returns. I mean, the best of the best, my very first property, 109 units in Odessa, Texas, gave my investors 43.3% return per year, per year. And that was for 6.5 years. I kept on giving them that kind of return. They got cash flow of 10% or something. But when we sold the property, they got the returns, equity gains, to make it that way. But maybe if I may
Vinny,
talk
so if I
about,
may interject, so which year was that, like when you started in
okay,
Odessa, in
that
Texas?
was 2009, 8 and 9, when it was like everything was falling apart, right? I mean, there was that recession was there. But being just so new to the business, I didn't know what recession was, and then we said, okay, we only want the employment to be good. So when we did the study of this data, and we found Midland, Odessa came to the top with the unemployment rate of 3.42%. We said, oh my gosh, that is the place we should fly to. So we went from Bay Area, went over there to Odessa, Texas, and Midland, and bought 5 properties there.
Wow. So that's interesting. So was that like at the peak of the market, or was it kind of a little bit
It was
after?
actually the peak of the market there,
Yes,
which
but
still did pretty good. But
still did
then
really well.
even the peak was not that high. That was the thing.
Right, I agree. Vinny, what I may
Yeah.
add, like I did like because I like study some of the data. It's interesting because Texas, like it didn't really drop much. I mean, I'm sure that's what you experienced firsthand.
Yes.
Like the average drop for the state was about 4% or so.
Yes.
So it was like it was Texas was undervalued at the peak.
Correct.
In fact, it was very interesting dynamic, very different from Florida and the other markets. And so you guys joined at that time, and nevertheless were able to deliver 43% over 6.5 years. Incredible deal. That's just outstanding. And that's so great. That's so
But then
great.
it went down, by the way. I don't want to leave it there.
Okay.
I did buy near San Antonio, Alamo Heights, and gave 27% returns per year. Not bad. And then 22%, 23%. Then I bought Houston. I came to Houston and bought 10 properties there. So these happened in 2014, 15, 16, 17. I arrived in like Georgia, Atlanta, 2016, I came over there, So now I'm in Austin just last year, and Florida, I came there in 2019. So all over the place, if you're able to underwrite it nicely, some good off-market deals, you can, find some great returns. But if I may talk about the tsunamis, can I talk about that a little bit?
Yes,
Yeah.
I
would love to. See, the
Mhm.
thing is, there are 3 driving factors in this country for rental demand. One is the millennials. The millennials who are also the generation XYZ, they want to leave their homes, parents, they've been with them, but they want to go and fly away and get into either single family or rent in a good C plus or B class, neighborhood. I mean, the quality of the properties. So there is a pent-up demand for the millennial tsunami, I call it. Millennials, there is a big demand for the next 10, 15, 20 years like that. The other tsunami, which is going through USA, is the silver tsunami. Now, why do I say silver tsunami? Those are the baby boomers who are turning 65, 10,000 of them turning 65 every night, every night. As a matter of fact, if you allow me to, I would love to share this graph, if I may. Is that okay? Yeah. Right there.
Yeah, of course.
And then what I'll do is I'll turn this over here because you're sharing, I'm sharing the screen. I'll put it like that, right? So the silver tsunami, 10,000 baby boomers are turning 65 every day, every single day. So in other words, like in 2020, which the number was 56 million, of the senior citizens we call, or 65 years of age, that is increasing just in 10 years to 74 million. 74 million. That's from 56 to 74, then 82 million, then 88 million, and then almost 100 million. Wow. So there has never been this kind of silver tsunami where seniors are becoming larger and larger and larger portion of USA population. Almost one third, let's say 31%, close to it will be seniors 65 and above in 2060 right there. But then this green one, the smaller one, is the 85 plus. So we are not only getting seniors population growing, but we are living longer. We are eating healthier, and we are also, increasing, our lifespan much more, with all the different drugs and all the facilities and so forth we have. So 6.7 million 85 plus in 2020, by the way, it will be 9.1. That's almost 40% increase in just 10 years. Just 10 years. And then another 50% increase right here from 2030 to 2040, almost 14 million, and then 19 million, and then 20 million. So there is the aging population of 85 plus, which is going to be from 6.7 in 2020 to almost 20 million. Unless we find, like in 10 years, we even have more technological shifts where we can have organs who can be replanted, like the knees and others, and kidneys. I know I read that article last week where they are first human, they took it from, oh my gosh, what was the animal? Lab created animal. They took the kidney and they said it's very functioning in the humans also. So anyway, this population is going to increase also. So that's the other tsunami. The third tsunami I talk about, and I can just kind of come back here again. The third tsunami is the immigration tsunami. Immigration step. This country, our population percentage birth rate, it's 1.61%, which is kind of lower than 2.5 with the attrition and deaths and everything what we need. But the population that is really helping to keep our population growing are the Hispanics and the others, immigrants, right? So with all those, even though we think our borders are closed, but we have like how many 1.4 million new people are coming into this country and from different parts of the world. And that is the other tsunami, which is the rental demand is going to be there for our immigrants, because when they come from outside, they don't have a job, they have been sponsored, and they don't have the money to buy single family. Some of them can bring money, of course, they can buy single family homes, but majority of them rent. So that's the third tsunami, So it's the millennial, the young population, the XYZ population, I kind of combine them too. Then silver tsunami, which is a huge tsunami. That's the biggest tsunami. And that's where in the silver tsunami with seniors, they are downsizing, of course, as they're growing older. And if they have needing assistance, they are getting into the assisted senior livings. And that's where I have gotten into more and more. If you hear me on the social media, about 3 years back, I started talking and thinking, sending the signals out, and now I really love it because if I show you here again, assisted living is the best class, but let me share with you why. Why? Because if you are interested, but what I try to explain to everybody is 5 types of senior housing, and they are from the choice driven right there. On the left side, age restricted, no regulation, and then independent living, little regulation, then increase acuity, they call it, assisted living, state licensing is right there, then memory care, dementia, Alzheimer, that's this one also. And then the very much need driven is the skilled nursing, and the federal licensing is in this side, which is the rehab centers, the nursing homes, and things like that. So there are 5 different ways to really help the seniors in their housing needs, and we have chosen, myself and my partners, we have chosen assisted living and memory care, which is right in the middle right there. It does not require, the medical equipments or things like that, but only one nurse is required, things like that. But we do give, the care, the meals and assistance and caregiving, like that, right? So I just want to come back again, let you kind of ask me some questions on the, things that I've covered so far. Yeah.
Yes, Vinny. So that was very interesting, actually, on the 5 types of 5 types of senior housing, right? And
Yeah.
so you mentioned, so in assisted living and memory care, so there isn't kind of extensive medical equipment or
Yes.
personnel training, right? It's more like, is it fair to say it's kind of more like basic care and like kind of having like good food, like kind of taking care of in the nursing way, but not an overly, not skilled nursing as you called it. And
You're 100%
that's
correct, Stefan. So,
okay,
in
yeah.
other words, we cannot take residents who really need big medical beds and
Mhm.
lot of equipment and doctors. We have no doctors at all in our
Yeah.
assisted living. Assisted living is only if, like, one of the partner passes away, right? Spouse passes away, then the other partner sees the void in their family, right? Because of their person passing away. And if somebody trips and falls in their shower or bathroom or like that, and then they need assistance in dressing or bathing, or even feeding, or they cannot cook anymore, right? So the best way to live is, of course, in your own home. That's the best way, with caregivers coming and they are bringing food, or you can afford to get your own personal, person coming in 24 hours or 18 hours a day, day and night. And then the other way is to come to a facility which is assisted living, where we have caregivers 24 hours. So we have 8-hour shifts of caregivers. We have 2 chefs. So we have dining halls in our rental, units. I mean, we usually build about 88 to 92 units, not like vertically 4-story, 3-story, never like that. We like only 1 story, so that, we want to give them great experience is the word, right? So, but we do have spas, we have salons in our multifamily buildings. We have dining halls, private dining halls. We have billiard rooms, library, movie theater. So it's a little different than my regular apartment complex. I can tell you that. In regular apartment complex, I'm used to exercise room, and then, the yoga room maybe, and then laundry room, things like that, right? Uh, and access, yeah. And maybe I was thinking about something else in my conventional apartments. It's very different. But in the senior assisted living, because it's a community, It's the community. The residents don't stay in their apartment, but they come in the hallway into the meetings. They're playing cards and billiard at nighttime. There is grand piano. Some people are singing and dancing. Then every week we bring some outside group to perform, for our seniors. And then they eat lunch together, by the way, breakfast together, lunch together, and they have very nice, places. And our chefs cook to their orders, their personal orders. They cook. Each meal is restaurant style, like that.
Wow, that's so impressive. That's so impressive, Vinney. And so how did you learn about all of this? Like when you started 3 years ago, how did you read? Is there a book that one can read on assisted living or assisted living real estate, so to say, or what were your sources or
Good point.
mentors when starting out?
Very good question, Stefan. I know there have been, if you Google, senior assisted living consultants, you could Google that way, or you could say Senior Assisted Living Academy. I think they were also very good friend of mine. I think he passed away. I'm so sorry. And he was from Arizona. And for residential senior assisted living, he was training people, right? And I'm sure there is a lot of information on the internet. I don't teach senior assisted living, but I have hooked up with a good partner of mine who has been building assisted living for 9-10 years now. And he came from Pakistan, but he had a business of supplying to the assisted living facilities and nursing homes. But he would cry at home because he saw how smelly the facilities were and how bad the food, whatever he saw. He said, I will never take my mother there at all at that facility. And that really eat him up more and more and more. He said, I'm going to start building the best of the best at the lowest price. So now I don't know how many of your audience know me or they have seen. I could, if you don't mind, I could just share a very small video. Oh my gosh, where is that? Senior living. There it is.
Of course.
So this is a small video of a short one, which shows us what we do, what we build, right? This might be a good thing to understand. Okay.
Hampton Manor
Oh, there we go.
Coral features the only 77,000 square foot one-story facility in the area. At Hampton Manor of Cape Coral, our residents get the daily support they need while remaining as independent as possible.
I just
We
mentioned
extend our
about the
highest level of
piano.
service, value, and quality, everything you are looking for in an assisted living community. All award-winning meals are created just for you by Chef Larry DeLuzio and are served restaurant style. With 3 gorgeous garden courtyards, residents can enjoy our in-ground swimming pool, putt-putt golf, or the beautiful rock formation waterfall. Our stylish beauty salon will have you looking glamorous in no time. Our activities calendar keeps you on schedule and in the know. Our luxurious spa allows you a tranquil place to unwind and de-stress. The club room is designed for some hearty pool or card games, and right around the corner is our private library. Enjoy afternoon snacks and entertainment in our poolside bistro, or a relaxing conversation in our sitting room overlooking the waterfall courtyard. The Modern Theater invites you to indulge your senses in a delicious bag of popcorn and your favorite movie. The spacious sunroom invites you and your guest to take in an afternoon of conversation or perhaps a puzzle or card game. Our activities room will be filled with bingo games, trivia, and arts and crafts projects for creative minds. Or enjoy watching a game show or the daily news with your friends in the social lounge. We offer 89 spacious apartments featuring private or courtyard views, kitchenettes, and equally spacious restrooms, and the ability to control your own room temperature. Whether you like a studio apartment or one-bedroom apartment, or two-bedroom apartment, or our one-bedroom deluxe apartment, there is a size and design to match your lifestyle. Our 16 apartment memory care area features a private dining room. Our entertainment and common areas are inviting, and our staff will be here to ensure your loved ones receive the very best care.
I'll just stop it here. It just goes into my YouTube channel and everything. But I
Well,
hope you
this
guys.
is beautiful. That's beautiful, Vinney. It's
Thank
really nice.
Thank you. We are replicating it just like this one in all over USA. You know, Hampton Manor is our brand, but we don't want to do 2-story, 3-story, but we want to build in 5 to 7 acres of land, 88 to 92 units, so that we can have our seniors go in the courtyards, swing pools, into the putt-putt greens, enjoy their, morning exercises, and then also have waterfall functions and all. Sometime in the memory care, we put butterfly house also, so that they can enjoy the butterflies, because they are dementia, and every day is a new day for them, right? Yeah.
Right.
You answered some questions. Yeah.
Yes. So Vinny, yes. So Jay is asking. So what do you think of the new niches? At least one of which you originated, senior living in resort settings. So what housing niches are you also observing different from more well-known senior care that allows more autonomy and freedom that other types of assisted living that may be less cost yet higher quality, if any? Thanks.
Very good. Yeah, thank you. You know, what we have found is we do market study in the city that we go in. For example, Cape Coral. We had just built one. This is Cape Coral. I just showed you. So we are charging $4,300 per month with 3 meals already paid for, all the caregiving 24 hours, all the linen, laundry, all done, and then all the facilities to be used at no charge. So that's for the basic. And the same 4,300 in the same city, people have to pay for a very, very old facilities, which they have. So we build luxury, but we charge very less amount because we build ourselves. We are the developers, we are the builders. So we can build one facility of 92 units for 16 million. 16 million. The banks tell us it should be 22 to 23 million. So we save 6 million because we are our own developers. So that's why we can afford to give really good luxury at a lower price, It's 43 plus the caregiving. So maybe 375 for somebody needs assistance for something, and then there are level of cares, right? Yeah. But we don't charge 10,000, 12,000, which a lot of people with luxury like that will charge. But we are trying to construct these Hampton Manors for average class people, right? Yeah.
And how do you guys determine the demand, so to say?
Yes.
It's kind of coming in the free market, like openly, or because I don't have any knowledge of the field, just to
Sure.
disclose as far as senior living. And so how do you gauge which markets to enter that would have one more obvious, the demographic, what is the growth of like what you showed, what is the growth of people above 65 within that market? But from there, even if people are above 65, are they necessarily, which are the ones who are going to go into a senior care facility, and how does that work?
Very, very good question, Stefan. So actually, we start from, I know I've been chasing jobs, jobs, and jobs for the last 14 years and buying all over the place. Now I'm chasing reverse. I'm chasing no jobs, no jobs, no jobs, but retiring communities, I call it, where there are lakes, people are moving in, good environment, good temperatures, the summer weather is better for older people. They like to retire. That's why we are into now moving into Virginia, and then of course into Florida, big times, 10 locations, I think. We are building in Florida alone, and then Texas, then we are going to Missouri, and we'll be going all over the summer states. But you're right, Stefan, we look at the capture rate study. It's called capture rate. And what that tells us is population increase, net worth, and what's the migration status for the next 2, 3, 4, 5, 10 years. And then we look at what's in the works over there. So we spend a week in that community. Once we find out from the capture rate, from the statistics, we go into the community, we go through all the senior assisted living, every single one. And we look at what they are providing, what they are charging, what kind of, things are there, right? And then we hire a consulting company to do $10,000 study, I think. They give us a whole spectrum of what's being in the, permits have been allowed already, what more facilities are going to be built. And they give us a whole complete picture, because see, we buy the land ourselves, our own money, and we lock the land for 6 to 9 months. What is locking of the land means? We don't buy it full, right? We go through ordinance changes and gets the permits, building permits, because the city has to. We also go see the city mayors and Better Business Bureau and the building people to say if there is a need for senior assisted living. And we show our PowerPoint, what we built. So most of the cities say, oh yes, we want you there. We want a facility like this. That's how it has been happening. But then we go through ordinance changes and everything. We get all the permits. As we are ready to put the shovel in the ground, we buy the land. We lock the land, but then we buy it after we get all the permits. Because if we cannot get permits, that land is worth zero to us. So that's the main. It goes for 9 months like that. 6 to 9 months it takes us to get the permits. Then we build it in 9 months. Everything that you saw today, oh my gosh, I don't know if you have a second. I would love to show you.
Build it in 9 months after. So 9
in
months.
9 months, in literally 9 months. And and I can show you. Oh, not this one. We'll just go back here to cut it back. Sorry about that. But I'll just go cut this out. But go here to my senior living right there. And this is my right there. This is it. Hampton Manor construction. How quickly do we build it? You'll be surprised. Let's see here. So this is going on right now. Let's see. There we go. In 3 months, we are this far. Oh my gosh. So we have 150 to 200 workers working every day. All parts of the structures, from the outside to the inside. within 4 months now. Oh, look at that. This property had 6 courtyards, as you can see here. One courtyard, second courtyard, third, fourth, and then down here. All right. Oh, I'll stop it because otherwise it just doesn't go back there. There we go. There we go, Stefan. So I just kind of shared the whole spectrum, how we kind of started. We take a construction loan. I'm on the loan, guaranteed, guarantor you have to have. And my partner, Shahid also takes the loan. I mean, we do construction loan. And then after, we are also vertically integrated. So when we are 70% built, we start hiring the staff already, leasing people, the executive director and all that. We start advertising, have the website and everything. And that way we are able to have, like my Punta Gorda is opening up in January after 9 months of construction. And we have 17 residents already who have paid deposits to us, and they'll be moving in right away as we open. And we still have rest of the month. And then January, end of January, we are opening. Our goal is to be about 35% occupied the day we open. Yeah.
Amazing. That's really amazing. When you say you're vertically integrated, how do you carry it to new markets? So it's more like online vertical integration, sort of your website and online experience, and being able to systematize and bring people to the project, like hire people, etc.
Stefan, actually, my company is my daughter also, Monica. She's our vice president of operations. My wife, Kanchan, she is my VP of investor relations. Then we have our own accounting department. Then we have our own team members, John Rusan and Ethan, he's in the academy side and investor relations also. But then at the peak, I had 135 full-time people in my company of managing my multifamily. So we had regional managers, we had asset managers, we had, community managers, technicians, HVACs, all those staff was on my payroll, right? Of Monil Management Group. So now same thing is true with senior assisted living. So when we start opening our location, we start hiring the caregivers, training them 6 weeks, executive directors, the chefs are hired, the driver for the van is hired, and all those, right? And nurses are hired, leasing people are hired. So they are on our payroll for that property. That's how it is. So we are vertically integrated, even though I live near San Francisco. I've been living here for over 40 years, but I travel every month or every other month to the different pockets and meet with my teams, And then Zoom is the best place. So we hold meetings every week, on Zoom. and all our team managers have best of the best computers and the webcams and everything. Yeah, so most everything is done remotely through the departments, through different people in charge of those departments. That's how it is done. Yeah, I'm a systems guy. That's me, Vinney Chopra.
Yes.
For 45 years I've been a systems guy to design the different facets so that it can free me up. Yeah.
Mhm. Right. So another question Jay has, and actually feel free to speak up, Jay, if you like as well.
Please, Jay, how did you like it? Did you like my answer?
I love it, Vinney. You're my inspiration. We want to. I'm going to copy you and flatter you and quote your name all over the place.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate you. Thank you. Anywhere I can help, please reach out to me. My team, we are here. Yeah.
I will do that. I wrote a question. You want me to read it myself?
Please, please. Yes.
Okay. I was curious if you since you have this system down so well, would you allow other builders or developers to license your models so that you would get the licensing income, but you wouldn't have to own or do everything yourself?
Very good point. I think my partner actually has a consulting company too. We are doing collaborations right now where people are reaching out to us and they say, oh, would you please build with us? So we can do a partnership together. Sure. Because there are a lot of different things going to this whole construction. It looks easy, but believe me, it's not. And the biggest thing is that you can get construction loans. That is the biggest thing. And COVID did not help us much at all. With this, nursing homes, deaths and things like that, the COVID really got all frazzled, into this market. So a lot of banks who were giving loans for construction, they stopped giving loans. So we are kind of going through that whole phase with the, double vaccination and, some banks are opening up their wallets a little bit more, but it's been pretty tough, to be truthful. But you're right. No, we can consult with you and we can have a meeting. If you have a developer, we might even hire them and do a partnership. Because when we go to local, places like in Virginia's and other places, we are looking for local, general contractors. We have our own also, but we supervise, but we have the whole recipe put together, see? Yeah. And then we get great rates because we deal with subcontractors and we know where to buy the materials. We know, even with all these things happening, sometime our, one project actually went 2.6 million more cost because of all this COVID happening in this year and last year. Now we funneled down to buying materials at different places. We only needed 600,000 more. That's it. So we were able to reduce that 1.9 million just because of our experience, and we could dig different contractors to bid, and then we can get a good solid bid from the plumbing and electrical and all that. Then the other place we also love is the PACE, P-A-C-E, PACE. PACE loan is for the energy efficiency of the buildings. It's for every kind of building you own. You can take special money is given on top of the mortgage. It's called PACE financing. It works like a tax. You don't pay mortgage every month, but you pay with the taxes. So it's a taxation, loan kind of thing. And you can get a lot of good money for roofs because they are, good roofs will cut down the expense, right? Appliances, windows, glass, all those things, all those, anything to do to reduce energy, they call it, they could pay for it. So that helps also. Yeah.
Very exciting. Thank you. I have a lot to talk about, so I will call your office.
Sure, Jay. No, it'll be a pleasure. It'll be a pleasure, And maybe, if I'm not mistaken, I've seen you before, because I think you commented in the Passive Wealth Symposium or something we had done, right? Yeah. Thank you. Hi, Bradley. Bradley's just joining. Love to answer and any questions, that you might have. Anybody else? Yeah, Stefan, buddy?
Yeah, no, it's been really amazing. That's such wealth of information here today.
Thank you.
And
Thank you.
if you guys have any last questions before we wrap up, and Vinney has been really generous with his time, and let us know.
Sure.
So do you plan any modular building, Vinney?
Good point. I have been approached by modular senior assisted living, structures and things like that. We are trying to do where we can get trusses made, which we do it now too. Good, solid. Sometimes transportation can be a big hassle, as lots of different modulars, especially near LA. So many of these, containers are standing there, and it's just very difficult. What we have tried to do is indigenous. If we can get all these things ordered from the people we've been ordering, and they know what styles to make, and they know they have done it so many times. We have built 43 of these so far, 43, not just one or two. So that way we have quite a big clout in going to the manufacturers. But modular, yes, I am for it, but my partner feels the luxury cannot come unless we know. Now we are building in Florida. It's all block construction, by the way, block. And it's so wonderful. No termite, no moisture, and it's hurricane proof. I mean, it's just amazing what we are building over there in Florida, Of course, in the upper north, we are doing in wood structures, studs and all that. But, the roofs are always wooden anyway. Yeah, right there. But, modular, we were approached by some people. I think we didn't like, what they could offer to us. So, Jay, that's why we have not gone into. We just feel like money making is one thing, but I think we are on a different big mission, is to give the quality of the health and the experience to our seniors, So that's where we are really concentrating on giving them bigger and better facilities, and, giving them not only just building the building, but the people inside. We want to please them because it's their last 3, 4, 5, 6 years of their life. And, we want to give them the best experience. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Vinney. It's been a real pleasure. What is the best way for people to reach to you?
Oh, sure. You can definitely DM me, direct message me. I'm on LinkedIn, Facebook. I'm also Facebook pages, also Twitter. Smiley Vinney, I think, is my Twitter at Smiley Vinney. And then, of course, Amazon. I have 2 books out there. And my third book, of course, I'm working very hard on the one I mentioned, Positivity book. My third book is coming out too, which is Senior Living Investing Made Easy. So that's my third book, which will be coming, because I'm going to be really passionate. I'm going to be 70 years of age next year. Actually, I'm 69 and a half today, right in the middle of the year. And then I'll be 70. My passion for the next 10 years is to build and construct and buy $2 billion in senior assisted living. That's one of my goals I'm sending out in the cosmos. Hopefully I'll be healthy enough that 80 years of age, I can still be sitting straight and traveling, But,
amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing, Vinney, what you have accomplished.
And
thank you so much.
VinneyChopra.com. Website, VinneyChopra.com.
VinneyChopra.com.
Yeah.
Thank you, Vinney. Really appreciate it.
Thank you so much. Thank you. It was such a pleasure to spend this time. And please reach out to me or my team, and we are here to do the best we can for you, huh? Thank you.
Sounds good. Thanks to everyone for joining us today.
Thank you. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Good night.
Bye.